Hey there! Thanks for listening and watching another episode of School Counseling Simplified. So if you are listening to this on your favorite podcasting app, this one is a little different. I'm actually recording a video right now as well because to conclude our small group series, I wanted to do a complete mock small group. So this will be a small group walkthrough. So you can't see me if you're listening, but I have all of my small group materials in front of me. I'm sitting at a desk or a table here, and I'm going to pretend that I have my students in front of me. So I am using a sample session. This is a session from my Ready to Regulate Self-Regulation small group. So I'm using it as an example so you can see the ins and outs of what goes down in the day-to-day, real life, how I would lead a small group. So here's how I'm going to do it. I feel kind of silly because I'm obviously the only one here. I debated putting like some stuffed animals up to be the kiddos, but I'm just going to pretend they're here. So I'm going to talk to the students, and then I'm also going to say some side notes just for you as the counselor that I wouldn't typically say for students. Okay, so let's see how this goes. First time doing anything like this, but I think it will be fun. So ready, action. Hey kids, come on in, have a seat. Thank you. How are you guys doing today? Oh, good, perfect. Please sign your name on the sign-in sheet. Yep. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Just sign your name. Yeah, the order doesn't matter. Perfect. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you. Okay. And the reason we do the sign-in sheet note for the counselor is so we can keep attendance. So obviously their teachers are keeping attendance, but if there was ever an emergency or something, you want to know where the students were and when you were responsible for them. Okay, back to the kiddos. So we're going to start our group the way we always do with our group rules and our feelings check. So here are our group rules. Remember, they are be respectful, be kind, participate, confidentiality, and have fun. Who remembers what confidentiality means? Yes, you're exactly right. What you say in here stays in here. Perfect. Now, note for the counselor. If this was your first session, you can have some group rules printed out, or I like to help the students come up with them on their own. So let's pretend this is the first session. We would do something like this. Hey kids, so what are some rules that you think would be good for our group? No hitting. Okay, yeah, no hitting is a great rule. That would go under be respectful. Perfect. Let's write that one down, okay? What else? Be nice. Yes, be nice or be kind. I think that's a great one. No yelling at each other. Yep, another good one. I agree. That goes under be respectful or be kind. What do you guys think about participate? Do you think we could do participate? Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, yeah, I think that would be good because, we want our group to be successful and to help each other. Good. And then I want to add one, guys. I want to add confidentiality. Confidentiality, what does that mean? Well, confidentiality is that we agree that what we say in counseling stays in counseling. So there are a few exceptions to the rule. If you're being hurt, or if you're hurting someone, or if someone's hurting you, or you want to hurt yourself, then we absolutely, if it's a safety issue, we won't keep that a secret. But what this means is that we are just going to respect what our other group members are saying, and if during feelings check, maybe they want to share something personal, we're not going to go back and tell everybody in class. We're going to keep it in counseling. Can we all agree to that? Yeah, okay, great. So that's confidentiality. That's a big word, but all it means is what you say in here stays in here. And lastly, I think have fun is a good rule because that's what we're here for. We want to learn, but we also just want to have some fun. Okay, perfect. So, counselor, that was an example of how you could initiate the group rules during the very first session. Okay, kids, now we're doing what we always do next, our feelings check. So I have the feelings check poster here, and we're going to go around in a circle and say how we are feeling and why. So remember, we're going to take turns, and only the person whose turn it is, we can even pass around that pillow. Yeah, grab that pillow, we can pass it around, and whoever's holding the pillow, that person can share how they are feeling and why. So I'll go first as an example. So let's see, I can look at my sheet. Today I'm feeling a little sad because I had some family visiting for the week, but they just left this morning. So I'm feeling a little sad that they're not here anymore. Okay, Miranda, why don't you go next? Oh, good, thank you. And then remember, guys, you don't want to say like, I feel okay or fine. Let's really try to use an emotions word. So remember, you can reference the sheet if you need help. Okay, a 1, you're having a hard time coming up with one. That's okay. Can you maybe tell us on a scale of 1 to 10 how you're feeling? A 6. Okay, good. So if you're having a hard time coming up with a word today, an emotions word, no worries, you could use a number. And because this is our self-regulation group, if you want to use a color to tell us how you're feeling, you can do that as well. Oh, Kevin, oh, you're in the blue zone today. Yeah, I'm sad, so I'm feeling a little in the blue zone as well. Okay, awesome, everybody. Good job. So, note for the counselor, you always want to model the feelings check, and then you want to use a consistent sentence structure like I feel blank because blank. Again, you can use a number scale or a color scale if it makes it easier, depending on the age and developmental level of the students you're working with, and you want to have a visual aid ready. Great job, everybody. Okay, kiddos, moving right along. So if this is our first session, we would do a self-assessment. So here's an example of a self-assessment. So basically, what you're going to do is answer these questions. This is not a test. There are no right or wrong answers. I'm just trying to figure out what you already know about self-regulation. Okay, note for the counselor. A few things you can do here. Number 1, you can just pass these out and have kiddos fill out the self-assessment and then collect them. You want to be sure to have their name and date on here. That way you can track it. Or if they're younger students, you can read the questions out loud. It would look something like this. Okay, everyone, get your pencils ready. The first one says, I know what self-regulation is. Yes or no? So if you know what self-regulation is, you can circle the yes. If you're not sure, you can circle the no. Oh, Miss Rachel, I think I might know what it is. Is there a maybe? If you think you're a maybe, you can circle that middle or, the word or. So yes, if you know what it is, no if you don't, and or if maybe you kind of know or you're not sure. But try to use yes or no. And remember, guys, there's no right or wrong answer. You're not getting a grade on this. I'm just trying to figure out what we know. But we haven't even done the group yet, so you might have a lot of no's, and that's okay. Okay, so for the counselors, another thing you could do here is have the students come over one by one. So you could save the self-assessment for later in the group when they're doing some independent work, maybe like they're journaling, and then you could bring them over one by one and kind of in an interview style ask them the questions. So those are the few options for implementing the self-assessment. Okay, kids, moving right along. So because this is our self-regulation group, I'm going to review our posters. So we might have these on the wall. But remember, these are self-regulation posters. So it says here, the blue zone is when you're sad, sick, tired, or bored. Green zone, you're feeling calm, happy, focused, ready to learn. Who remembers yellow zone? Yep, silly, confused, excited, yep, good one, nervous. Any of those, losing some control, you're exactly right. And who remembers red zone? Yeah, angry, mad, scared, or upset. Good job, guys. And remember, these are the different feelings that you might do or the actions you might do when you're feeling that way. So you might cry or laugh. Maybe you're wiggling or losing control. And red zone, maybe you're hitting or yelling. Good. So we'll leave these up for review so you can reference them. Okay, and remember what we're trying to do with self-regulation is we're trying to get back to the green zone. So if we're feeling blue, yellow, or red, we're always trying to get back to feeling green. And we can do that using a few different things, like getting fresh air, asking for a break, taking deep breaths, go for a walk. Yep, that's a good one. Yep, talking to a friend, great one. So remember, guys, we're always trying to get back to that green zone. Okay, so those are introductory posters. Note for the counselor, you have an outline, hopefully, with your ASCA mindsets and behaviors. You'll have a learning objective. So today's objective, we want our students to identify triggers and associate feelings with physical sensations in their bodies. And then we have an outline here of what to do. So we already did our feelings check and group rules. We reviewed our posters. Now we're moving right along into the activities. So today, guys, the topic is triggers. So triggers are places, people, or things that cause you to feel upset. By identifying our triggers, we can come up with a plan to help us stay calm. So I want you to think about what moves you out of the green zone and into yellow or red. Those are your triggers. Did anyone have an example? When your brother pinches you. Yes, if your brother is pinching you or being mean to you, that could trigger you to move to the red zone, right? So let's see what this kid's saying. He says, my triggers are loud noises, when my sister yells, and when people touch my things without asking. Ooh, me too. Yep. This makes me feel hot in my cheeks, and I clench my fist and jaw. So he's talking about how his body feels when he feels angry. So sometimes we can notice how our body responds to triggers. So I want you to pay attention to heart rate, your muscles tightening, your jaw clenching. These are signs that you're losing some control. Does anybody here want to share something in their body? Oh, you get sweaty? Yes. Your face gets hot? Yes. Those are all good ones. Okay, let's see what else here. We're going to do for our icebreaker today a think, pair, share. So I want you guys to get in a couple pairs here. So there's 6 of us, so let's do 3 pairs of 2. You can just work with a partner beside you. Can I work with Stacy? No, I'd like you just to work with a partner beside you. Okay, great. And now these 3 questions are what I want you to talk about with your group, okay? I want you to ask them what some of their triggers are, and I'll have this poster up so you can look at it if you need a reminder. Ask them how they can tell when they're going from yellow to red. So how do they know when they're heating up? And what can they do to get back to green? Okay, so I'll give you guys a couple minutes to work on this, and I'll be walking around and talking with you as well. Yeah, that's a good one. So what are triggers again? Yeah, so a trigger is going to be something that causes you to move from the green zone. So maybe something that makes you angry or makes you upset. Yes, that's a good example. How are you guys doing over here? Okay, good. So you said to get back to green, you like to take deep breaths. Yep, that's a great one. Okay, good guys, good. Okay, let's bring it back together. I heard some really good responses, everyone. I dropped my die 1 minute here. Fan's going kind of crazy today. I heard some really good responses. So remember, your triggers are those things that are getting you kind of out of the green zone. Why do you think we want to know what our triggers are? Yeah, so we can prevent them, or we can learn a coping strategy to deal with them. Great jobs. Okay, guys, so today I want to talk about our bodies. So remember, we said that sometimes you can feel your emotions in your body. So we're going to do 2 things. First, we're going to play a dice game. So I have here a pair of dice, 2 die. One has body parts on it, and one has the colors of the different zones on it. So we're going to roll each one, and then based on your combination, you're going to talk about a time you felt that way. So for example, if I roll a green and then I roll a stomach, how does my stomach feel in the green zone? Well, when I'm in the green zone, I'm usually feeling very calm, so my stomach just probably feels normal. It's probably no butterflies, just kind of relaxed and fine. Okay, so let's play. Let's start. We'll start over here because we started over here with feelings check. So we'll start on the left and then we'll work our way around. Okay, so you can go ahead and start, Brianna. You got a red hand. How do your hands feel when you were in the red zone, Brianna? Yeah, it's a great example. So Brianna was saying that she clenches her fist sometimes. Does anyone else do that? Okay, now it's your turn. Okay, so note for the counselor, that was just an example of how you would play the dice game. And you want to have those assembled ahead of time. And then moving on to the second part of the main activity, this is the body drawing. So you're going to have students split into pairs, and I'll do an example of how I would explain it to students. Okay, kids, so now we're going to split into pairs, and you're going to lay down on the ground. I have some big butcher paper laid out for you guys. You're going to trace your partner's body, and then you're going to write on there how different parts of the body feel when you're in different zones. So just like we did with the dice game. So you're taking what we did in the dice game, and you're actually drawing it on the body trace. So for example, the tummy, if you have a tummy ache when you're in the yellow zone, you could write yellow tummy ache on your stomach on the cutout, okay? Or your legs, maybe when you're in the red zone, you like to run away. You could write red run on the legs, okay? So go ahead and trace your partners. Now this is our biggest activity. This is going to take about, you have about 10 minutes to do this. So you can break apart, find a space in the room to work on it, and I'll walk around and help you guys. Okay, note to the counselors, then we would bring it back. And then to wrap it all up for this group session, they're going to do a journal reflection. Okay, guys, go ahead and come back. Thank you. Good. So we're going to do our last journal, or our journal for today. This is journal number 5. You're going to keep it with your other journals. So today's question says, write 3 triggers. Did you know what your triggers were before today, and what can you do to stay in control of your triggers? So remember that you can look at that triggers poster, or if you have any questions, I'll be walking around, okay? And then don't forget at the bottom of your journal to go ahead and write the color that you're feeling. And you can look back if you have some time when you're finished at last week's and see if maybe you're feeling a different color. Maybe you're in the same zone this week. Just kind of notice how it changes. Okay, I'll give you guys some time to work on that. Okay, note for the counselor. That is how we would conclude the group. So a couple other things to mention. I like to keep my students' group materials in manila folders. So each student has a manila folder with their name on it. And then I would keep any work they do. So in this case, the only writing they really did was the journal reflection. I would keep their journals in there, or if they have any other worksheets, I would keep their self-assessments in there. And then at the end of the group, they get to take their folder home. Another fun thing I like to do for the little ones is use stickers as a progress monitoring tool. So each time they come to group, they get a sticker and they can put it on the front of their folder. And then at the conclusion of the group, they'll have like 6 or 8 stickers. So this is kind of an incentive for attendance and just a fun way for them to see how many sessions they have left, because we want to kind of give them like a preview of the closure, so it's not really a surprise when group ends. So, we have 8 sessions. Look, you already have 6 stickers, 2 more to go. So then when group is concluded, they can take that folder home, show their parents what they've been working on, and review any materials with them. Okay, so that was my mock group. I hope you found it helpful. I think the video will be helpful. I really hope it's not too weird on audio with my fake kid voices. But I just wanted to give you a sample of like a day in the life, especially if you are a intern or out of grad school, or maybe you've been a counselor for a while but you don't do very many groups. I want you to know that they can be casual and comfortable and fun, and that's all there is to it pretty much. So let me know if you have any questions in the DMs. If you like this style of instruction, if you like videos kind of explaining what to do, then I think you're totally going to love Impact. So remember, that's my new school counseling membership program. That's where I'm giving you resources each month. So every month you would get like a small group, at least one small group, class lessons, and individual activities. But I'm also giving you video implementation guides. Those are like screen shares on walking through each page saying how to implement it. But then I'm also doing Zoom calls where it would be like this, me live talking about how to do the different activities, and you could ask any questions you have. So that's Impact, that's my new thing. We already have a lot of members in there, and I think you're going to love it. So if you have any questions about Impact or want some more details, you can go to stressfreeschoolcounseling.com/impact, or just send me a message or an email. Okay guys, I'll talk to you next week.